is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
JJ Wang, it's week 9. People that are listening, if you hear frustration in our voice, this is half an hour after we started. I have reset my modem, restarted my computer. Everything's going wonky, but the good thing is this is the farthest we've made without one of us freezing up. So if anybody would like to donate a computer to DJ Dub and family, feel free. You may text me or message me for the mailing address to sponsor the Fantasy Couriers on all we do. But JJ Wang, it is week 9. Enough about everything breaking in my world. It's I'm excited for Thursday night. It'll be over till some people listen, because some people listen Thursday morning, some Friday morning. And this could be a moot point. But I'm a little excited for Will Levis getting some primetime love. Bananarama, the mayonnaise man.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't you be excited? 4 touchdowns, even though the last guy to do what he did was Marcus Mariota. Not really where you want to hang your hat. But, hey, we're all excited. He came in slinging the ball to Hopkins. Do we think it'll happen again? Probably not, but we're going to root for it, hope it does, and see where it goes.
You know, I moved Hopkins up pretty good in my rankings, thinking the rookie isn't stupid. So apparently, if we learned nothing about Will Levis, he's not stupid. He threw the ball to Hopkins a lot. So I'm guessing, I mean, that's what I would do. If I showed up on a field, I'm going to go, okay, who's the best guy? I'm going to throw the ball there. I might miss him, but I mean, his passes look awesome. So I'm excited to watch him tomorrow night. But as I said, some will listen to that before, some will listen to that after. We'll move on. Hopefully it's some good news that you all hear as we do it. But we got a couple questions as we go in here. Some guy named Rich, you might have met him before. You might see him at holidays or something. Was ask him, which quarterback do I pick up? Baker, Dobbs, Levis, or Carr? Poor guy had Cousins. So Cousins goes down. Man, he's had a rough week, man. He wasn't happy.
Yeah, rough week. Yeah, so, I mean, the safe play is probably Baker. He's been okay. You know, 15th, 16th, 17th ranked quarterback. So that's a safe play. But if you're feeling salty, why not take a shot on Will Levis? I mean, hey, you never know. Another 4, because Baker's not going to give you 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, but as Will Levis, I'm still safe, and I'm a Baker guy. So I think Baker's got 2 amazing receivers, and that's the way I sort of look at it, that I would go that route. But yeah, so Rich, you decided if you listen to Blood or you listen to the guy who put up 303 points in our league the other week.
No, like I said, I said Baker was the safe play. I mean, if you're trying to win a game, it's probably the route to go. But hey, that's not how I play. I play to lose, man.
Any thoughts on Carr, though? I mean, he has been the hit or miss quarterback, hasn't he? One of the big hit or misses guys this year. Like, he did great.
Yeah, I mean, he's no different than Baker. I mean, if he's in there, he's in there. You're not really excited. There's not too much ceiling there. A little bit disappointing, but I mean, it is Carr.
That's what happens when you're on with square wheels. Steve, well, he asked a question prior to, I think, everything coming down. Jaron Hall or Jimmy G. So we're going to assume we know Jimmy G's out. Yes, and she's been, because they fired everybody because, as I've mentioned for so long, the coaching staff was terrible. So if Coach GM's gone, your boy Aiden O'Connell.
I mean, as I've been mentioning for so long, Jimmy G's terrible. I mean, hopefully this can put to bed that all Jimmy G is a winner. That's not true. I mean, I think quarterbacks that play for Kyle Shanahan is a winner.
Or
Jimmy Garoppolo, he had his moment, but I mean, please, can we stop?
So, okay, let's say that Steve can pick up Aiden O'Connell. So he's got Jaron Hall or your homeboy Aiden O'Connell out there in Vegas. Who would you start out of those 2?
I'm going to go Aiden O'Connell just because I've known him longer. I've at least seen him play in the NFL. I mean, he's been able to manage a few drives here and there. Not great, but he is a rookie. Not all rookies look great. He was a late round pick for some reason, but hey, he's got the opportunity. We've seen it before, and that's what I'll go with.
And he throws the ball to Devontae Adams a lot. So I'm very excited after my Devontae Adams getting pooped on. And luckily I played not a great team with my Devontae Adams that I was able to go on. But let's take this. I'm going to jump ahead before coming back to these last 2 listener questions. We're looking at Jaron Hall in Minnesota. With Cousins down, Hall right now is the starter this week, but they did just trade for Dobbs. And the talk originally was Nick Mullins taking over taking over, but they traded for Dobbs. If you had to put one of these guys on your bench for to replace Cousins, but you only got one spot, who would it be?
I think it would be Dobbs. I feel a little safer. I mean, he has come into a new team within a week and produce like he did with Arizona earlier in the week. But I mean, uh, whatever the guy's name, Jared Hall, he has his tryout, he has his opportunity. I mean, if I think he plays decent or just well enough, I think he might get he'll get another opportunity. But if he comes in playing like poop, I mean, I think Dobbs has shown enough that he can get the start.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good. I think it's Dobbs. I agree too. I mean, Hall has to basically will Levis the week because they saw Dobbs play this year. I mean, Dobbs stepped in two situations, as you mentioned in our earlier two takes that we did of the show. He stepped in last year off the street, not playing any football, and played for the Titans versus the rookie quarterback they had, and they played okay in that game. And then he stepped up and played in Arizona. He wasn't anything spectacular, but
I don't know if he has to go Will Levis to keep the job. I mean, if he goes, say he goes in there, throws for 200 yards, a touchdown, and no interceptions, and they win. I mean, why not give him another shot?
yeah, true. So yeah, it'll be because they do have to look at the future. I mean, then again, unless they're like, hey, apparently Kyler's going to stay in Arizona is what it looks like. I thought he might be on the move. There was talk of him going to Minnesota as well. Oh, I have too many screens up. Brian was wondering, pick 2 for wide receiver and flex. We got Puka, Jordan Addison, Ramondre Stevenson, Gus Edwards, and your boy Kincaid in Buffalo.
I'm going to go Gus Edwards because I think he's out of all those guys. I think he's probably the safest, and then I probably go Puka just because I think he's earned it. Like I said, Stafford's been injured, not throwing a lot of yards. I mean, if Stafford's only throwing for 165 yards, it's hard for both of these receivers to feast. So, but I'm still going to go Puka, and then I'll go. What was the other guy was Gus Edwards. Yep.
Yeah, I was with you on that. I like Puka and Gus. I'm always tempted for Ramondre. I just can't do it. But Gus Edwards we're following 3 touchdowns. but Gus is getting the Gus bus is all.
Ramondre's been a poop sandwich all year.
And Addison lost his quarterback, so we got to watch him for a week to see what he does. And Kincaid, he's a tight end. I love tight ends, but I'm also not stupid. So it's gonna be up and down. It's the first week ever that Josh Allen went wheels up on a tight end. So Felipe has a question that I think we're going to table a smidge, but I'm going to just highlight a couple things. He said, who are players to trade for and trade away aiming at the playoffs? We're getting a little bit ahead, but it could be like I got a team that some teams I know are playoff bound. Take some guys if you can trade away for players and other teams. Dallas has a pretty tough playoff schedule actually. Buffalo, Miami, and Detroit. Miami will be a healthy defense. Detroit and Buffalo are okay defenses. Miami actually has a pretty rough playoff schedule as well. They've got to play. I just was looking at it. Dallas and the Baltimore defense. I mean, they start with the Jets, which is still so. Jets, Dallas, and Baltimore defense are the Dolphins' fantasy playoff schedules. So it's something we're going to visit a little harder. So I'm gonna apologize, Felipe, because our patience is not really good on the internet tonight, but it will be something we'll hit in probably the next 2 or 3 weeks because we are hitting trade deadlines, so probably something we should look at this week.
I will say, if Derrick Henry isn't on a contending team, that's who you should probably go try to get from some loser of a team that hasn't. Because I mean, at that point, Derrick Henry for cheaper than what you would. But I'd say that would be my main goal.
You know who Derrick Henry plays in the fantasy playoffs?
It doesn't matter, but who?
Oh no, it really does. Houston.
Oh yeah.
Seattle.
Oh, I think that.
Houston.
Oh yeah.
It's a Houston sandwich. So on the other side, that might mean you also might want to pick up Stroud. Nico Collins is a wide receiver 3 because Tennessee's not terrible on defense, but they're not that great as well as you're looking at it. Plus, also the 49ers, the Bears, and the Eagles play the Cardinals. And the Panthers, Colts, and Bears play the Falcons. So if you're looking for some sneaky guys in there, that's sort of places to look, but things we'll hit on. So it came in a little last minute there before the dime, Felipe. So sorry about that, but we'll hit up with ideas as we move forward, and get maybe a week or two in from here. A couple things going on. We mentioned the Raiders. They fired McDaniels, so he'll be OC in New England in about a week, I'm sure, and probably leading them to the playoffs. Minnesota, they are without their quarterback. We got them, and this week it is Hall. So if you need a player to get, throw Jaron Hall. He was probably the top waiver priority take up. Arizona is going to start Thune this week, supposedly, and sounds like Kyler might be the backup, is what I'm gathering. So that means Kyler's about a week away, which works great for a bye week fill-in I needed coming up. Atlanta benched Desmond Ridder. Heineke is the official starter this week, which I think bodes well for the receiving options because I've liked Heineke. He's not the savior of Atlanta, but he's not as bad as Ridder. And finally, Darren Waller. Coming back up with that injury, could miss a couple of weeks. Just as soon as we got happy with him again, he started to stink it up. Any thoughts real quick on those 4 quick hits?
Not really. I think Heineke's probably the biggest investment we've seen him perform from time to time. But I mean, you really can't trust him after a game or two. His production dwindles to less than what it was. But I think it's still better for everybody else than there was.
So Heineke at the Vikings this week's a super flex start, right?
Sure.
Okay. We're getting it. Now let's go. Let's get ready for an exciting week. Let us get ready for week 9. It is time for everybody's favorite game by game preview. So as you're looking ahead, this is a brutal week for bye weeks. I think I got some teams that are in trouble. You got the Denver Broncos on bye. As much as nobody likes Russ, he still is a good superflex option. He's stinking, but putting up points, 100 and some odd yards, but a bunch of touchdowns. Javonte Williams was starting to get hot. Sutton, surprisingly, is a good wide receiver 2 or 3 because he's getting touchdowns every week. The Detroit Lions, you got your Lions, you start, and we're lock and loaded. Gibbs had his coming out party, and now he gets to sleep in this week. Goff has been a good start. Amon-Ra is a stud, and my favorite player in the NFL probably currently, Sam Laporta. The Jags, you don't want to start the quarterback, although you are, and he's killing me. They're winning, though. That's crazy. ETN is killing it, and you never know which receiver to start on that team, so you don't have to get mad at Calvin Ridley this week. And the 49ers, locked and loaded. Although Brock Purdy last week was dead as a doorknob. So those are who you're missing this week. If you don't have CMC, we don't have Jahmyr Gibbs, we don't have ETN and Javonte Williams. There's some holes to fill at running back. Otherwise, there's a couple quarterback spots there. But yeah, this is a pretty brutal week. Now next week, oh man. If you're planning ahead and trading right now, next week's off week is the Chiefs, Dolphins, Eagles, and Rams. That's a big kick in the butt, too. That's a rough week of some stud guys. So let's go through some games here, a couple hit or miss. You tell me what you think of some questions I popped through. Thursday night, Titans versus the Steelers. We're looking at rookie Will Levis versus, they say Pickett's going to be ready. The receiving options in this game, we're looking at DeAndre Hopkins as a start, right? And how confident are you in Johnson since he's been back healthy and starting to get targets? Is he up in wide receiver territory now?
I mean, he's a wide receiver 2, lower end, 20 to 25, 26, 27 risk. I mean, if you get 8 catches for 85 yards, I mean, that's probably about the extent of it. But he said PPR. I mean, that's doable, I guess.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. You got Derrick Henry and Najee Harris at back. Where does Najee Harris fall? Is he all the way down in running back?
Falls to second. That's where he falls to.
Najee, would you rather have him or Tajay Spears?
Tajay Spears.
It's that bad. Tajay Spears gets some good stuff. So the game that I'm looking forward to, and I think it's going to be terrible, though, because I hate overseas games. We're going to Germany. Guten Tag. Dolphins at the Chiefs. Could have been one of the greatest games of the year, but they've got to travel a gajillion hours over the seas, play at an off time, and I have a feeling it's going to be a dumpster bowl. How scared should Dolphin skill position players, and Patrick Mahomes and Isaiah Pacheco Kelsey owners be about the being halfway across the world 9 o'clock in the morning game?
I mean, if I was Chiefs fan, I wouldn't be, worried about what they're going to look like because they're in Germany. I'm worried about what they look like overall this season. Yeah, they're still great, but they haven't looked like the Chiefs of old. So I mean, that's what I would be more worried about. And then it's overseas game. That is what it is. And who knows? I mean, Miami usually plays well. Tyreek usually gets his, but we'll see if the overseas really matters.
Yeah, and Dolphin to help hurt the Chiefs more. The Dolphins are getting back their stud safety.
Yeah, but you're still
And
not. Doesn't matter where they play. You're still going to play them. So
yeah, you're gonna play, but it's just the amount of fear there you're looking at. I mean, you're starting your studs in that game. Do you start any cheat with some of these layoffs? Are you starting Rasheed Rice, or are you not going to start him overseas because he pooped to bed last week?
I mean, I don't think Rasheed Rice playing overseas really makes that much of a difference. I mean, it's not like he's getting 12 catches for 172 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's getting 3 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown. I mean, I don't think that's not really that hard to do, whether you're playing in Kansas City or you're playing in Germany.
I think I just figured out who he is. He is the very fast version of Romeo Dobbs. You get a touchdown or else you're poop. It's pretty much they're the same player. They mind up. So that game I'm excited to watch. But you start them, you go with them. Who's going to have a better game? Quick hit, Tua or Patrick Mahomes? Who's got a better stat line for fantasy?
I think Tua is probably a better fantasy player at the moment. But I mean, Tua hasn't been playing all that great over the last few weeks. Neither. Yeah. You know what? I'm not doing that. I'm going to go Pat Mahomes.
Come on, just say it. I wanted to hear you say it.
Hold on a second. I'm taking that back. I do own Tua in more places than Patrick Mahomes, so I will say Tua Tagovailoa.
I think I have them back to back. I was working on my rankings today, and I'm pretty sure I've got them, if not back to back. I mean, they're still both top 5, regardless of where you put them. And I think in that game, I gotta assume they're gonna perform. I got Mahomes at 1 and 2 at 2, so I gotta say Mahomes. How about that? I might swap it just so I can say I said it. Vikings at the Falcons. We're looking at the Taylor Heineke, Jaron Hall show. Yuck.
Yeah, I mean we already talked about both of these guys. I mean, so that's not really used to going back on, but I think it's more or less does Drake London get a touchdown or not? I mean, that's kind of where it's at. I mean, are you confident he gets a touchdown with Taylor Heineke? Do you want to do you have a little bit more faith now that the quarterback can throw a little more? And Heineke can still run. So I mean, you're deciding whether or not you want to put Drake London back in the lineup because the shot in the arm.
Well, triple whammy here. We're looking at rookie quarterback throwing to Hawkinson, who's the top three tight end, and Addison, who's coming out of his shell, and then you got Drake London, and maybe Heineke's been throwing to Kyle Pitts. Which one of those 4 guys has the best week? London, Pitts, Addison, or Hawkinson? Hawkinson, right?
I have no idea. I mean, it's Jaron Hall at quarterback. No clue.
So you're going to say some guy on the Falcons. So it's going to be Drake London. Seattle Seahawks versus at the Baltimore Ravens could slow down some of that. Seahawks. The Ravens are surprisingly 6-2 and playing old school Ravens defense quietly, and no one's paying attention to it. This could be a game of running backs. We know if you got them locked and loaded. Who would you think has a better week? Ken Walker or Gus Edwards?
I think Gus Edwards has a better way. I mean, Ken Walker's good. I mean, Charbonnet did get a few yards last week, so maybe they try to incorporate him a little more. But I'll still say Gus Edwards. Sounds crazy, doesn't it?
It sounds because I almost dropped him earlier in the year. Now I've got to start him because I've got that. I have CNC and Javonte Williams as my starting quarterback or running backs on my best team. I'm in trouble. So Gus is starting. Going any Ravens wide receivers?
No.
Have more points than any of the top 3 Seattle wide receivers.
Probably not.
Just Mark Andrews. Okay, we're going to the Cardinals and the Brownies. Is an early game. That's going to be a terrible game. Clayton Thune versus maybe Deshaun. We'll see what goes on. Jerome Ford was healthy last week. Jerome Ford, Kareem Hunt, DeMarcado. We're looking at bye-week madness for running backs. Which one of the running backs from this game, if you have a spot and you got all 3, but you got to fill in one of them, which one of those guys would you pop in there?
Probably try DeMarcado, maybe. Who knows?
He's not splitting, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't know if Hunt's probably going to get his 15 points. I guess so. You probably go Hunt, probably. I'm not a huge Hunt guy. I like the DeMarcado character, but don't be surprised if he goes into this week and gets 0 carries and Keontae Ingram ends up with like 13. So who knows, man?
Damian Williams is on the IR, so there won't be some guy snatching in stuff from there. So it'll be interesting. The Rams versus the Packers, there's still talk as to what's going on with Stafford. Like I was reading today, and I can't get an answer per se. So something might have changed since we've recorded. That there's a chance he might be out for a while. There's a chance he might. I don't know what's going on with Stafford, but that could really affect the Puka thoughts and the Cup thoughts. So keep an eye on that because what is Rippin the backup?
Yeah, then they also got Stetson Bennett, so who knows about that guy?
Stetson Bennett's been out with something personal, like he's been pupped or something officially with something.
Well, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. It did take him like 12 years to graduate college.
Did you see? I wish I could remember. Was it a Patriots cornerback who's on his second contract and he played with Stetson Bennett? They started college together, so like it was something ridiculous. Like they were on one of the national championships. It was hilarious, but just seeing that. So the Packers, they say Jordan Love might not even be the long-term answer for them in this game. Let's say the Rams go with a backup quarterback. The Packers start Jordan Love. Which receiver of the big four in that game will have a better game?
I'll go Cooper Kupp at that point because I mean, like he's the best receiver out of the whole bunch, and it just feels like Sean McVay is good enough to scheme somebody to get the ball to Cooper Kupp. So I would go Cooper Kupp just because he's the safest out of all.
DeAndre Hopkins theory. Okay, the Buccaneers are playing the Texans. Both of them looked promising for a bit, then they pooped the bed, and they're both 3-4. Baker or Stroud, better week? Buccaneers defense is pretty good though. They're not terrible. They're not great.
I'm gonna say Baker.
Oh, that hurt, didn't it? Dameon Pierce or Rachaad White?
Rachaad White. Dameon Pierce is terrible.
What are the chances Nico's the best receiver in the game over the big two in Tampa?
Like 5.
Okay. And I do need Dalton Schultz to do something because tight ends are terrible, and on that team, he's my starter.
Yeah, well, join the club. We need a lot of people to do a lot of things.
Oh, the premier game of the week, the Manders from Washington versus the Patriots from New England. They're in New England. It's the Mac Jones versus Sam Howell show. Mac's coming off a terrible showing after a great showing. Sam Howell went nuclear last week. Who do you trust in this game? That's all I got, man.
I trust Sam Howell. He's been top 12 quarterback all year. I mean, we're at week 8, week 9. I mean, at that point, you're starting to believe in it a little bit. I mean, you have half the season. What's going to change? I mean, yeah, he might throw in a stinker, but Mac Jones is a stinker. So
I do say if you're looking for someone sneaky and you really got to get something, Demario Douglas might be a pickup. He's a kid out of Liberty. I didn't realize he went to Liberty. Like I just knew he was a rookie, but with Kendrick Bourne being out for the year, I think it was ACL. He was having a good year for an older guy. That pretty much seals the deal for him, I think, because I think he's 27, maybe 28, maybe to rehab and whatnot. But Douglas is going to be their last guy. Juju's look like poop, so Douglas is getting targets. So if you're looking for a guy, check your waiver wire.
Yeah, but they're Mac Jones targets.
Yeah, but I mean,
I know, I do.
Does Dotson have a better week than McLaurin again?
No, I can't put my faith back to back, and I want to, but I just can't. I can't do it. He's hurt my feelings.
Hardest question of the week: Brian Robinson or Ramondre Stevenson?
Oh, Brian Robinson. Ramondre Stevenson is dead to me.
Would you rather play Zeke than Brian Robinson for a touchdown?
No, I'm still playing Brian Robinson. Zeke's been dead to me for about 3 years.
I'm surprised the Patriots didn't trade him, knowing where they are. Just get a warm body for Zeke. That was kind of weird because people were asking. Bears versus.
So you're just going to get a warm body in return for a warm body?
Oh, they'll get a pick. So a pick is better than a guy you don't really want to play. So
I would not give up. I would not give up any pick for Zeke.
But there were teams calling. That's what I mean. Like there were teams calling for that goal line.
Do we know that for sure?
Bill Belichick. I'm with you. Bill Belichick. Let's say it's true. I think I would have done it for like a 7th rounder, even because you can use that.
Oh yeah, if somebody, hey, we'll give you a 7th round pick in 2037. I'll be like, all right, that's 15 years away, 17 years away, but who cares? I'll take it.
Good quick math there. I don't know if it's right. I wasn't paying attention. But the Colts.
I don't think so.
The Bears are playing the Saints. The Bears, there's still the jury's out on if Justin Fields is going to play. That probably not. Probably going to rest a week. So another week of
Oh,
Shepard.
I thought I seen he was already out.
But maybe last time I checked, so I've been running around all day, so he could be out by the time this has come up. So we're going to assume he's out because everything sort of points that way, if not officially yet. So another arm wrestling champ son. So I have some friends from Shepard. They're like, if I hear any more about his dad being an arm wrestling champ, I'm done. The Bears versus the Saints. Olave or DJ Moore in this game?
Oh, that's a crap show. You know what? I'll go DJ Moore because I do believe he had 13 points last week. Could be wrong. And I don't think Olave has scored 13 points combined all year. So I'm going DJ Moore.
Okay. You know,
that's not a true statement. He has scored more than 13 points all year. But
it's called hyperbole, man. We got you.
There you go.
I am the Saints are my sneaky defense start because they're a pretty good defense, not a great, but to play against the Bears who are just terrible, they just find ways to give the ball up. I think the badge. I love that he's successful. I hope he continues for my old halfway through college alma mater, but. I think the Saints could be over 500. Go to the 4:00 games. We got some stellar games. You're gonna want. There's one game at the 4:00. The rest of them are garbage. Colts versus the Panthers. So you got Gardner blowing it up. Is Gardner a top 12 quarterback versus the Carolina defense?
No. I would never go into a week thinking Gardner's I don't care who they're playing. I would never go into a week thinking Gardner Minshew is a top 12 quarterback. Never.
He could end top 12 quarterback.
I'm not saying I'm not saying he could end up a top 12 quarterback, but there's no way I'm going into the week predicting Gardner Minshew as a top 12 quarterback.
Because we're without Russ, Goff, Lawrence, and Purdy. All four of those guys have ranged in the top 12 at times. So it could.
Yeah, I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just saying I'm not predicting him to do it.
Adam Thielen, where does he fall?
Well, he falls where I guess in the wide receiver 2. I'm not confident that he's a wide receiver 1, but I think he's better than a wide receiver 3. So
you drafted Pittman high. Thielen's playing well this year. You can only start one.
Ew, that's gross. I mean, I think most people would probably go Thielen, but I'd still go Pittman.
Yeah, he's starting to get some push there, and the running game, it should be Jonathan Taylor just going bonkers. So that can mess up my Gardner theory. Here's a stellar game that we all want to see: the Giants at the Raiders. We're gonna have Aiden O'Connell blowing up the they say Daniel Jones, maybe he's that week to week also like just if it's not Danny Jones, DeVito, Aiden O'Connell might Will Levis us this week. Does he fall within top 18 quarterback with this matchup?
Who, Aiden O'Connell? No way.
Hey, I'm trying to make you happy.
Oh, no. The fact that Aiden O'Connell is playing is happy for me.
Are you starting him in Bourbon?
That's the only quarterback I got.
Oh, really? Oh, crap. So you having him start helped you.
Yeah, I got lucky. I mean, because Dobbs got traded and Purdy's on bye and Justin Fields is hurt. So luckily, Aiden O'Connell is starting.
You're a lucky man. I saw, if you want to see the funniest meme from Halloween, it was a guy, our buddy Scott put it on one of our threads. He goes, check your children's bag for things they put in there that might not be safe, and they had Giants tickets in the trick-or-treat bag. Okay, the game of the week, though, will be Cowboys-Eagles in America. The next two games are pretty steady. Cowboys-Eagles, it should be a pretty stellar game. Better likelihood, you hate the okay, so you're going to answer this question here. Better likelihood, the Cowboys defense slows the Eagles offense, or the Eagles offense blows out the Cowboys defense?
I think this is going to. I don't know if they can blow them out. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I think the Cowboys still lose. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Cowboys score 10 points and they get blown out by 30. But I think there's going to be a lot of points scored, but the Cowboys still lose.
Pollard's been down. Swift has been and up and down. Which one of those two guys do you feel more confident playing this weekend? Because it's a mess both ways.
I mean, I'd probably go Swift because I don't feel like I've heard Pollard's name all year. At least Swift has been like, hey, Swift has a good game. Yeah, you haven't heard once. You haven't been like, hey, Pollard had a good game. No, he hasn't.
Gonna give Pollard a surefire waste of a touchdown, maybe. Okay,
Pretty much.
probably the real game of the week is Sunday night's been had some pretty good matchups. The Bills and the Bengals. The Bengals all of a sudden are good. The Bills are good, bad, good. So this could be a shootout. So that means it's going to be 10-9, I'm guessing. You're looking at this game. The Bills just signed touchdown Lenny to take over, or playoff Lenny, whatever you want to call him, to take over the extra duties. And they are talking, and articles talking about his superior pass catching abilities. Does it worry your James Cook love, even though he hasn't played for a while, that Leonard Fournette is coming in with fresh legs?
Well, if Leonard Fournette somehow comes in off the street and amazingly gets put into the game and starts taking carries away from James Cook, yes, I am absolutely worried, because if that needs to be done, then obviously James Cook isn't doing his job. So,
okay, James Cook or Joe Mixon this week? Both
Joe Mixon.
Because this should be interesting. This is going to be a battle of wills. Both defenses are pretty good. Both offenses should be pretty good. So how about Gabe Davis, or is T. Higgins dead?
Oh, I got to go Gabe Davis. I mean, Gabe Davis has done way more this year than T. Higgins. I mean, yeah, Gabe Davis has a bad game here and there, but I mean, overall, I mean, I feel like he's still like a top 24 wide receiver over the season, and T. Higgins is not giving you more than, well, I think he had one good game, but other than that, it's just been absolutely dreadful.
No.
Well, Gabe Davis can score you 1 point. Don't get it twisted.
It's 1 point or 17, pretty much.
Or 36. You never know.
I'll miss our love for Gabe Davis. I think.
I still got love for
Gabe Davis. The Couriers still love Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis, but Antonio Gibson's dead to us. So, guys, who was our guy? Who would be our guy this year? Purdy?
I don't know. I got a whole bunch of guys. I don't know.
I give us a consensus guy. We've had those two consensus. I don't think we had one this year. Okay, Monday night. The records of these teams, I think, are backwards. The Chargers at 3-4 versus the Jets at 4-3.
Man, how good would the Jets be if they had Aaron Rodgers, man? They'd be undefeated.
They'd be 2-5.
Right now.
You know how the world is. They'd be 2-5.
Garrett Wilson would have 87 catches for 1,300 yards already. It'd be insane.
The conspiracy theory going around my work is that the referees have it in the tank for the Jets so Aaron Rodgers can play in the playoffs and ratings go through the roof.
Hell yeah.
No way. Jets. Eckler or Hall? Who has a better week?
Eckler or Hall?
Okay.
Probably.
You play them both, but just a toss up.
Well, you're waiting for Eckler to have a good game, right? So you'll like it.
I mean, that's a good Jets defense. Garrett Wilson or either, or you're looking Garrett Wilson.
No, I'm going to go. I'll go Breece Hall. I can't go.
I go Breece Hall. I've got some quiet Breece Hall love, and I just, what receiver in this game has a better game? The Chargers receivers versus the really good Jets defense, or Garrett Wilson versus not a great Chargers defense?
I'm not going to pick any receiver that's related to Zach Wilson, so I'm guessing probably Keenan Allen. I mean, even though Zach Wilson or Garrett Wilson did get 100 yards last week, but Zach Wilson's still Zach Wilson, and I'll take Keenan Allen over any of the Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert over Zach Wilson.
I'll take Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's one of my favorites of all time. So, but yeah, that's a terrible way to end the week after a good Sunday night game. But good news is I have teacher work day on Monday, so I can stay up and watch the game. So JJ Wang, we finally got through it. No glitches. I don't even have to splice this. It's gonna be spectacular. Give us some wisdom, because I've got to go to another meeting this week.
It's not wisdom. It's just I want to just say good luck to everybody, because you said it earlier. This week is going to be rough. There's a lot of good players out. I'm having to bring Clayton Tune up out of the taxi squad just to have a starting quarterback somewhere. Like I said earlier, Aiden Connell, I got lucky enough to be able to play. I mean, it is crazy. So just good luck to everybody. Don't let this week get you down, because, hey, we'll do it again next week. As always, trust yourself and trust the process.